Welcome to And the Winner Is. You know, some of these books that were chosen for 2013, I didn't know any of them. I didn't recognize the names, and I'm pretty sure none of them, I haven't checked, but I don't think most of them continued on. Some of these names are so obscure to me. I should have checked. But we'll see what happens. I gotta get rid of this stupid thing. Anyways. I didn't check, but I do not recognize some of these names. I had no idea. It's like, let me not do this category, because they did, every year they're expanding their categories, and they couldn't just break up historicals. They had to break it up into historical, then historical romance, then historical paranormal, then historical in Britain, then historical in Scotland, then it was. So I had a whole bunch of, because the first time I just went overboard, and the second time I tried to do less, and this time I tried to do less, and I wasn't very successful in doing less. I had one category completely picked out, and I didn't know. I like to know the authors. And my other big disappointment is I have a display in the local library to encourage participation in our history awards, and I put the trophy in there. And if I had thought about it last week, I would have used the trophy for the video. But then, of course, I went and put the trophy in the display case to encourage participation in the awards. So this week, we're just going to do, and the Globe goes to, although I picked out two. It's 'tis the season. But I think I like this. I mean, this is prettier, but you really can't see it too much on the video. But this one you can see. So we'll just do, and it's lighter. And the Globe goes to, and the winner is, they also do career achievement, and, now they're expanding it a little bit. They just had authors named and that's it, but now they're expanding it to categories, so that might be interesting to do at a future date. But, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kaye. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy smash stuff going on here. And, so we're talking about, alright, let's see. Okay, let's do this one instead. This is 2013 winners. They are announced, nominees are announced in June of 2014. And then, in January of 2014, excuse me, I don't know what I had to say. They were announced in January. And then the winners are told to you in June. And what they said was, I just said the page. As you know, Romantic Times Book Review is my favorite magazine in the whole wide world. We did all of these issues from 2007 through 2016. I should really go back and do some of those early ones, because I looked at some of those earlier videos and I only did a few. And by the time I did 2016, I was doing almost all of them. But, so what they say is, they have the readers nominate, and I've seen some of these online. They've shown up when you're looking for books. Romantic Times Book Review gave this review 20 years ago. 2013 was a banner year for readers, writers, publishers, and RT. We reviewed upwards of 275 titles in each issue. Of RT book reviews, even topping 300 a couple of times, making for more than 3,000 books in 1 year. Our beloved reviewers and editors scoured 12-month worth of reviews, put together the annual RT Book Review Career Achievement and Reviewers' Choice Awards. And so, these are the Reviewer Choice Awards, and the winner is for 2013. And like I said, some of these I did not recognize these authors, and these were probably not covered in my Flashback Monday videos either. So our first category is romantic suspense. I have some Cindy Gerard, so her I recognized. This other lady I was gonna read her, and then I don't know what happened, and so I don't know where the book went. It's here somewhere. I scoured the house, could not find it for nowhere, but I know I had it. I was gonna read them. So she showed up in Flashback Monday, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, let's get back to this first one. And there's quite a few of these that I would not have chosen as my nominee. I mean, so the first nominee is Cindy Gerard, and she's on the same page as Cat Martin. I might have chosen Cat Martin for the adultness, but anyways, Killing Time. 4.5 stars. Bestseller. Gerard spins off a new series, The One-Eyed Jacks, featuring the survivors of a mission gone horribly wrong. Gerard's name has become synonymous with high stakes and high action adventure that don't skimp on either the romance or the thrills. It's the 8th anniversary of the debacle that was Operation Slam Dunk, which cost Mike Brown his career and his friends. So Mike is doing what he always does on the anniversary, getting drunk. However, this year Mike is drugged by a mysterious woman with her own set of questions regarding what happened in Afghanistan. CIA attorney Eva Salinas was sent a secret file. While it blamed Mike for the death of his fellow soldiers, it also opened up some questions. Mike accepted the blame for the disaster as a way to save his 2 surviving friends. He also had no leads as to what really happened. Eve's file contains the first threads that might allow Mike to uncover the truth. But will someone kill them first? Will romance take over? We do not know. We shall see. We shall see. Your second book was the book that I was looking all over town for because I know I have and I could not find. So hey, Chrissy, picture. It's gonna take a picture because I can't find the original. Kendra, Elliott, Chrissy. Where's? Oh, I said I was gonna do that. Okay. Buried. Kendra Elliott, 4.5 stars. Romantic suspense. Fans drop everything. Cooking, cleaning, even the dog walking can wait. Because you'll have your nose buried for the next 24 hours. Elliott once again proves to be genius in the genre with her 3rd heart-pounding novel in the Bone Seekers collection. The author knows romance and suspense, reeling readers in simultaneously and wowing them with an extremely surprising finish. 20 years have passed since reporter Michael Brody learned of his brother Daniel's disappearance. The driver, and 9 children vanished during a class trip, and only one survivor, Chris Jacobs, was ever found. When the remains of children buried long ago and an old decrepit school bus are discovered, and Daniel's remains aren't found, Michael wants answers. Unfortunately, Jacob is a recluse and hard to track down, so Michael reaches out to Chris's sister Jamie, hoping she can answer some of his questions. There's an immediate attraction between them, but researching the tragedy only brings more hurt into their world. On the race to find Chris, Jamie and Michael discover clues leading Daniel in, but in the process they fall in love. Aww. And Pamela Clare. I have hers too. Just couldn't find this one. Wait a second. Striking Distance, 4.5 stars. The 6th I-Team installment sees Claire at her very best, scorching desire with a gripping, often painful exploration of healing and redemption. The plot's mystery and suspense elements are exceptionally well researched and expertly plotted. Navy SEAL Javier Corbray can't forget the passionate weekend he spent with reporter Laura Nielsen, known as the Baghdad Babe. But when he discovers her held as captive in an Al-Qaeda compound, he only desired to give her her freedom back. 2 years later, Laura is trying to reclaim her life and forget all that she left behind in Afghanistan. When chance brings Javier back into her life, Javier is determined to do anything in his power to help Laura discover the truth of her abduction, including taking on the killer who haunts her every steps. Interesting. Laura Kaye. We're gonna hang on to this one. I'm toying with giving myself a Christmas present. I'm toying with the idea. I might just go ahead and do it. Some of it's been taped, some of it hasn't. But I thought I might do it. Just a silly little thing to do. Naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. Hard as it gets. Joining the Avon ranks in the hot new star Kai, who kicks off a suspenseful and electrifying new series featuring tarnished soldiers trying to regain their stolen honor in the Hard Ink series. Several former Army Special Forces soldiers who survived a deadly attack in Afghanistan were blamed for it and forced out of the service. The mystery of exactly what happened and why appears to be the thread that will spawn this series. Nurse Becca Merritt is very concerned when her reclusive hacker brother Charlie disappears. Charlie leaves a message telling Becca to go to the Hard Ink Tattoo to find Nick Rixey, who served with her late father. After being wounded and forced out of the military due to Colonel Merritt's action, Nick is initially not inclined to help Becca. However, when she comes under attack, Nick steps in. As they try to locate Charlie and figure out what's going on, it becomes apparent that the dangerous answer leads back to Afghanistan. So see what happens there. Kristen Ashley LAW MAN. Funny stars. Sizzling hot talent, Ashley really knocks one out of the park with the 3rd installment of her Dream Man series. Lawman has everything: humor, sexy sizzle, gut-punching emotion, and an element of danger, all wrapped up in an excellent, exhilarating package. Due to her abusive trailer park upbringing, Mara Hanover has self-esteem issues when it comes to men, which is why she only observed her sexy police detective neighbor, Mitch Lawson, from afar. Then a water leak brings him to her door, and she can no longer hide. When an urgent call comes in from her cousin Bill's 2 young children, Mara must once again ride to their rescue. However, this time Mitch insists on going along, and he helps out. And the winner of the nominees for Best Romantic Suspense were Cindy Gerard, Killing Time, Kendra Elliott, Buried, Pamela Clare, Striking Distance, Laura Kaye, Hard as It Gets, and Kristen Ashley LAW MAN. And the winner, the Globe getter, was LAW MAN. I would have chosen something else. I mean, these are nominated as their... Oh, I was nominated as a top pick. Maggie Shane would have been good, too. But I just... Lindsay McKenna. I don't... We'll have to see. We'll have to look up and see if Miss Ashley is still writing today. I'm not sure. McKenna made the front page. Alright, let's see. Let's go. Hold on a second. Okay, your first nominee for Historical Romance of the Year is Kate Noble, Let It Be. Right there. Lady in the green dress. 4.5 stars. Noble's latest enchantments with a tale that touches readers on many levels. The growth of her characters, the romantic setting, and the addition of music to her deliciously passionate world demonstrates why Noble is a fan favorite. Always in the shadow of her beautiful sister, Bridget holds tight to her dream of studying under revered Venetian composer Vincenzo. When a tree crashes into her home, she goes to Italy where she meets Oliver Merrick, who has been writing to her under the guise of Carpini. Normally, Carpini wouldn't take Bridget as a student, but he's put his career and Oliver's on the line with a wager against the Austrian composer Klein. His student against Klein's. Oliver senses Bridget's stage fright, and as she falls under Venetian spell, he falls in love with her too. Aww. Lorraine Heath Lord of Wicked Intention. Down there is my Heath with my baby picture. Ah, sorry, didn't move those. Lord of Wicked Intentions. Four and a half stars. Readers who have been anticipating the final volume in the Lost Lords of Pembroke series will not be disappointed. Lord Rafe Easton learned to survive on the rough London streets. He's seen his brothers marry, but Rafe relies on himself and wants nothing to do with love. He's prepared to reclaim a debt when he meets Evelyn Chambers, illegitimate daughter of an earl. Evelyn is sure her half-brother will honor her father's deathbed wishes and care for her. Instead, he plans to sell her to the highest bidder. An unexpected desire to possess Evelyn drives Rafe to make her his mistress. However, her naivety she believes to be married. Evelyn's kindness and generosity break down the walls surrounding his heart. See what happens. Kieran Kramer, Say Yes to the Duke. Say Yes to the Duke. Naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. Kramer's gift to initiate her ability to tell a story with unerring honesty, deep emotion, and humor. Readers will laugh and cry and deeply sigh. Janice Sherwood's parents pack her off to the Duke of Hasley's country estate to visit the Dowager, secretly hoping she'll snag the Duke. The trouble is that Janice has vowed to marry for love, and the Duke does not interest her. She's far more concerned about caring for the Dowager, who lives a recluse life. When she first arrived, Janice meets handsome and arrogant servant Luke Callahan. He becomes someone she can count on to help understand why the Dowager is kept hidden and what mystery surrounds the family. Luke recently learned that he is the rightful heir to the dukedom, but he needs proof, and Janice might be the person who can help him to get it. The next nominee is Katharine Ashe. I Married the Duke. The Prince Catches series, centering on three sisters determined to marry princes, begins with a bang. Even the slow start doesn't prevent readers from being enchanted by the sassy heroine, and her sharp dialogue keeps the dashing, arrogant hero on his toes. Since childhood, Arabella Caulfield has believed the gypsy prophecy that she must marry a prince to find an heirloom that will lead her to the long-lost father. She has only days to meet her prince and marry him, and she must convince pirate Captain Lucian Westwell to take her to France. The new Duke of Lycombe is wary of his beautiful governess needing passage to his brother's castle. He fears she may be a spy sent by his family. Taking Arabella to her destination will keep her close enough for him to watch. When they are attacked by robbers, Lucian places his trust in Arabella and realizes he's more of a man than any prince. Aww. Jennifer Ashley. Oh, this is, some of these topics only have 3 nominees. Some of these have more than that. And I still wouldn't chosen half of these ladies. If I was doing these, you'd see Maxwell, you'd see Lawrence, you'd see Carlisle, you'd see Coulter, you'd see Balo, you see Beverley, you'd see those guys. Jennifer Ashley. The Wicked Deeds of Daniel Mackenzie. My lighting is horrible. Sorry. I can't see that for nothing. Alright, I give up. The Wicked Deeds of Daniel Mackenzie. Jennifer Ashley, 4.5 stars. Readers rejoice. The wonderful, deliciously sexy Mackenzie men have returned. Ashley never shies away from controversial issues, and she delivers to the promise of an unforgettable romance with memorable characters. Daniel Mackenzie is all rascal until he encounters famed spiritual medium Violet Bastion. Violet's mother is the true talent, but even if she can't really talk to spirits, she knows people, and she recognizes Daniel as a threat to her reputation. Daniel is intrigued by Violet and the devices she's credited to make the spirit world real. When old fears surface, Violet reacts violently and flees England. She prays she is safe going by a new name, but Daniel is determined to locate her and uncover her secrets. And Sherry Thomas, the luckiest lady in town. For an F stars, Thomas continues to be refreshing voice in the genre with her lively plots, witty dialogue, and intelligent characters. Louisa Cantrell vowed to always care for her sister. She must marry well and sets up for her season to catch a rich husband. When Louisa meets Felix Rivendell, dubbed society's ideal gentleman, she cannot believe he would pay attention to her. Though he has sworn off marriage until he is much older, Felix realizes Louisa isn't an ordinary young woman and presents him with a challenge. And no good duke goes unpunished. Sarah McLean. No, I might have chosen her. Her I'm familiar with. Um, No good duke goes unpunished. There is a great deal of power emanating from the third rules of Scoundrels novels. McLean, like Hero Temple, holds a tight rein on emotion. When unleashed, it hits the reader like one of Temple's punches. Two unforgettable characters, slow move from the pain and anger of the past, and the driving need for absolution toward forgiveness and redemption. That progress is more meaningful and touching because of McLean's sensitive depiction of the characters' hearts and souls. Temple, aka the Killer Duke, allegedly murdered Mara Lowe on the eve of her wedding to his father. With no memory of that night and his life in ruins, Temple fled to the darkest corners of London, literally fighting his way to the top and now ruling the ring at the gaming den. The fallen angel. Mara disappeared that fateful night, leaving a blood-covered Temple in her bed. Now she offers him redemption if he settles her brother's debt. Temple has hidden his feelings for so long, he is virtually dead inside. Should hate Mara, but he cannot, and she fights to get his love back. I think this was featured on Flashback Monday. I'm almost positive it was. Okay, so your nominees for Historical Romance of the Year. Let it be Kate Noble. Lord of Wicked Intentions, Lorraine Heath. Kieran Kramer, Say Yes to the Duke. Katharine Ashe, I Married the Duke. Jennifer Ashley, The Wicked Deeds of Daniel Mackenzie. And Sarah McLean, No Good Duke Goes Unpunished. And the winner is Jennifer Ashley, The Wicked Deeds of Daniel Mackenzie. She gets the Globe. And just to be a little bit better about this is the one that I couldn't get to show up on the page. That one. She gets the Globe. Okay. The nominees for Historical Romantic Adventure. SHANA GALEN. If you give a rake a ruby, 4.5 stars. The second in Galen's Jewels of the Ton series is a gem of a read, and Galen is at the top of her game. The suspense builds alongside the passion as her three-dimensional characters are trapped in an adventure-filled labyrinth. As one of the three famous courtesans dubbed the Marquise of Mystery by the Prince Regent, Fallon is worshipped by men. The clever woman evades serious relationships, keeping her background and past a secret. Warwick Fitzhugh is determined to find the killer responsible for targeting him and his fellow spies. He is also determined to seduce or blackmail Fallon into helping him catch London's most notorious crime lord. Fallon's past and Fitzhugh's presence merge as they are dragged into the London's perilous underworld where passion and love are their only weapons. The next nominee is Olivia Drake's Stroke of Midnight. Four and a half stars. Drake's flair for mystery blended with humor and passion will delight readers. Her utterly enchanting tale sweeps fans into a charming story where the characters, especially the elderly Anne and her precious pup, win readers' hearts. The Cinderella Sisterhood next member finds life is hardly a fairy tale since her fiancé accused her father of theft. Laura broke her engagement and fled to Portugal with her father. When her father is murdered on a return trip to England, she accepts a position as an elderly lady, Josephine's companion. Laura feels safe until she discovers her ex-fiancé, Alexander Ross, the Earl of Copley, is Josephine's nephew. She was engaged to the guy and didn't know his relatives didn't have engagement party to meet all the fam. I'm sorry. Just kidding. Seduction and Silk. I love Miss Beverly. Up there. Miss Beverly is up there. Oh, and there's Miss Kenyon. I've talked about Miss Kenyon before. That's where she is. Those are my dark hunters. Those are Miss Maxwell, Miss Martin, Miss Putney, Miss Kenyon's up top. There's a ham over there. Sorry that I'd show you the ham. Joe Beverly. I need to tape this one. This one needs to be taped severely. Oh, hey! Naked guy on the cover. I may actually do that. I'll have to see. Seduction and Silk. With her talent for writing powerful love stories and masterful plotting, Beverly delivers the latest addition to her Maryland World series. She incorporates an old family feud, a curse, and a bit of political intrigue. I should have this. I love the Mallarans. Peregrine Perigam enjoys the life he leads in London and has no desire to marry, but that changes when he's named heir to Perry Manor. His cousin's will states that Perry must marry Clara Mallow within the month and reside at the manor for 30 days each other. Failure to abide by these terms will result in the loss of Perrin's manor to Perry's family, and the curse that bedeviled Giles will fall on Perry and his line. Unfortunately, Perry's first meeting with the rebellious pistol-waving Clara doesn't go well. She likes her independence and has no wish to marry. After he explains the details of the will, Clara accepts his offer, but it is to be a marriage in name only. You know, passion is going to ignite. What you doing there, Ham? You know, you could have come this way. The Lotus Palace. I would have chose Mary Baylow. Naked guy on the cover. Alright. Picture Grizzy. Where's my thing? Let's see. The Lotus Palace. Lynn has a reputation for craft. Oh, did I do? Yeah, I did. Lynn has a reputation for crafting wonderful adventure love stories set in an ancient China, brimming with atmosphere, customs, language, and history without missing a deeply emotionally love story. Have you read Mary Jo Putney? Some of her stuff is in China. The ham came for a visit. With the Pickering, the Pleasure District scholars and imperial officials hobnob with well-trained... What? Oh, speaking of Miss Putney. Where was I? Come here, Ham. Would you stop licking my books, Ham? With the Pleasure District scholars and imperial officials hobnob with well-trained courtesans Yu Ying no-so places a maid to the highly coveted quarters on Ming, until one of Ming's suitors, Bai, begins paying attention to her. Bai Hung appears to be a wastrel scholar, more interested in women and gambling than in passing his exams. Yu discovers he has far more than that when they are thrown together after a courtesan's murder. The mystery lures them into dark, dangerous places in Ping Kang and beyond. I have trouble pronouncing these places. Once a Rake, EILEEN Dryeer. Ah. There she is. EILEEN Dryeer, once a Rake. Dryeer is a master storyteller who merges intrigue and passion perfectly. Colonel Ian Ferguson is unjustly accused of attempting to assassinate the Duke of Wellington and ends up shot and overboard. He is swept ashore, a fugitive on the run, when he finds shelter on Lady Sarah Clare's land. As the illegitimate child of a nobleman, Sarah yearns for acceptance and respect. Sarah is trying to manage her missing husband's estate and hold on to their reputation when she finds Ian. She knows the danger he represents. Sarah hides from him, hides him from the law and nurses him back to health. They understand each other's inner turmoil and need for acceptance, and one forbidden kiss seals their fate. Jennifer Haymore, The Rogue's Proposal. What? Haymore secures her reputation for crafting original suspenseful, highly sensual love stories. The House of Trent has problems, but it's rescuing the family's kidnapped mother is top priority. Lucas Hawkins, the second son, is determined to succeed where his brother the Duke failed. He is hunting the alleged kidnapper, Roger Martin, when he meets Emma Curtis, a woman out for revenge. Morton killed Emma's husband and ruined her family. She'll happily team up with Luke to see Morton bring to justice. Luke is willing to bring Emma along on his journey and longs to have her in his arms every night. This is Emma's opportunity to delight in every fantasy and allow her deepest desires to reign free. And then when they're discovered, they have to get married. Oh, hey, naked guy on the cover. Okay. So, your nominees for Romantic Historical Adventure. SHANA GALEN, If You Give a Rake a Ruby. Olivia Drake, Stroke of Midnight. Joe Beverley, Seduction in Silk. Jenny Lynn, The Lotus Palace. EILEEN Dryeer, Once a Rake. And Jennifer Haymore, The Rogue's Proposal. And the globe goes to Jennifer Rake, The Rogue's Proposal. Sex will get him every time. Okay. Historical romance set in Scotland. You have 3 nominees. This is a small category. Michelle Sinclair, Seducing the Highlander. Naked guy on the cover. Sinclair's newest McTierney book will make her previous readers roar with laughter and delight, while newcomers will be thrilled to have writing reaches out to grab their attention, heart, and soul. Craig McTierney has sworn to protect the Highlands and places that vow above personal desires. His closest friend and confidant is Meryl, the beautiful daughter of their neighboring clan and his bride-to-be. Meryl has been questioning whether her expected marriage to Craig is solely due to her friendship and duty. She has to believe Craig reciprocates her passion. In an attempt to make Craig jealous, she visits a cousin escorted by one of Craig's closest friends, Hamish. Hamish decides to aid Meryl and her shame to get Craig to confess his love. Will Craig be able to admit his love and allow himself the chance to find happiness while upholding his promise? Don't know. Grace Burrowes, Once Upon a Tartan. Foreign of Stars. Burrowes creates a powerful story replete with heartfelt emotion and rich characterization, pairing the love of a child with an understanding of honor and trust in relationship. Ty Flynn is ordered by his father to travel to Scotland and bring back his long-lost brother's daughter, Fiona. Since Fiona's parents are on the holiday, her Aunt Hester is caring for her. Hester is unaware of Ty's impending arrival and is determined to keep Fiona safe and in Scotland. Hester has no reason to trust men, but she is slowly drawn into a friendship with Ty. By the time Ty is supposed to leave to bring Fiona to England, Hester is contemplating Ty's marriage proposal. Fate brings her to Ty's mother's home, where she learns about Ty's past and his family problems. When danger strikes, Hester sees Ty's devotion to Fiona and realizes she must set herself free from the past to grab him for the future. A naked guy on the cover. The Devil of Clan Sinclair. Whenever I think of Miss Rainey, I always think of Scotland. She's written other stuff, but I always think of Scotland. Filled with angst, passion, and suspense, Rainey's first Wicked Widow tale delivers a carefully plotted story. When her husband dies without an heir, Virginia Traylor, Countess of Brett, is desperate to find a way to save the family. Following her mother-in-law's advice, she thrusts her childhood sweetheart, McCrath Sinclair, made a fortune as an inventor, and built a house for Virginia. Yet she wed another. McCrath has no idea what she suffered in the marriage her father arranged, nor why she has come to him. He doesn't care. She's in his house and in his bed, and the mutual attraction brings them joy, but after several weeks, Virginia runs off, leaving McGrath again. But this time, he's not so quick to forgive, and he goes after her. Oh, and look! Naked guy on the cover. Alright, so your nominees for Set in Scotland romance were Michelle Sinclair, Seducing the Highlander, Grace Burrowes, Once Upon a Tartan, Karen Rainey. Oh, I forgot one. Marla Mia, Plaid Tidings. Here we go, Plaid Tidings. Sorry, I forgot one. Marlowe has penned a wonderful tale of rich in romance and wit. While en route to Scotland, Lord Alexander Mary wins an estate, Bonnie Brock, and a card game. He's thrilled, trusting this will make his appearance less surprising to the local clans. But discovering the estate's remoteness, the fact that he is betrothed to Lucinda McGowan, whose family has occupied Bonnie Brock for generations, and that there is a curse on the land, has Alex let sure of her original plan. Lucinda remiles Alex physically, and during the journey to the estate, she falls head on the heels with him. So, he's already got a wife for the land. He's already won the thing and the thing, so why? I'm not sure, but there is a naked guy on the cover. So where was I? Oh, yes. Michelle Sinclair, Seducing the Highlander. Grace Burrowes, Once Upon a Tartan. Karen Rainey, The Devil of Sinclair, Clan Sinclair. And Marla Mia, Plaid Tidings. And the globe goes to Grace Burrowes. Your nominees for Contemporary Mystery. Christine Barber, When the Devil Doesn't Show. Santa Fe is laid out in all its glory with ties to both past and present in the spellbinding novel of suspense and tragedy. The first home invasion is only the beginning. It's Christmas time, and the people of northern New Mexico are celebrating according to the old traditions. Detective Gil Montoya is at the festivities with his family when he and his partner Joe Phillips are called to the scene of a house fire. 3 tortured bodies, 1 burned beyond recognition, are all the evidence that remains of the break-in. At first, they think it's a hate crime that ties to Las Almas National Laboratory surface. When a second assault confirms their suspicions, their investigation takes them closer to a nuclear testing facility. Nominee number 2, The Money Kill. Alright. This will be another picture, Chrissy. The Money Kill. Katili. I could swear. I've seen that someplace. I swear I've seen it. It's not a. It's a black and white type of book. This high-stakes suspense novel boasts fast-paced action and intriguing characters. The tension increases as the truthfulness of the more and more context comes into question. Private investigator McClary and his wife Karen are hired by a wealthy woman to investigate her billionaire husband for infidelity. They find no evidence of misconduct and accept a more lucrative job that includes work in London, followed by a family vacation in Sardinia. Max soon realizes that the case is bogus, but at that point it's too late to quit. When he and Karen go to Sardinia to meet up with their assistant and kids, they discover they're all missing. They must unravel the connection between the two cases and their family. Don't know why. I could swear. Maybe it was just because I gathered the picture for this. Penny Louise, How the Light Gets In. I wouldn't have chosen any of these. In this very same series, Catherine Coulter's final cut is also given 4.5 stars. So I don't know why they didn't choose hers. Or my favorite author of all time, J.D. Robb, is nominated for Thankless in Death, but she's not one of the nominees either. But Penny Louise is nominated. Not my Catherine Coulter and not my J.D. Robb. How could you do this to me? Penny Quebec set Inspector Gamache novels concentrate on psychological underpinnings of crimes and are among the strongest and most fascinating books written. A friend of Myra Landers at Three Pines bookstore owner disappears. The missing woman her identity is one of set world-famous quintuplets for the year. When she is murdered, Gamache must find out her death concerns her present or her past. Meanwhile, at work, his department has broken up and all but one of his trusted forces are scattered throughout the division. There seems to be no hope, not even his retirement will satisfy his enemies. Okay. And S.J. Bolton, Lost. The one right next to it is Dean Koontz. I'd have chosen Dean Koontz, or I'd have chosen Alison Brennan Stolen, but no, they went with S.J. Bolton. Bolton's latest Lacey Flint mystery is an all-around hit. Scary, twisty, and intense. Lacey is frustrating, realistic, and her ability to get it together, so much so that you want to shake her and force her to admit her feelings to the Britishly Jashie Jonesbury. Still dealing with the aftermath of the Cambridge case, Lacey's on edge, ignoring Jonesbury's frequent calls and visits to check on her, not to mention his admission of love. Dana and her team of detectives are otherwise occupied. There's a killer on the loose in London targeting young boys. Lacey's young next-door neighbor Barney becomes obsessed with the case, dragging her into the fray. See what happens there. And the last one in this category, and like I said, I do not agree with the nominees in this category. I don't even recognize. Julia Keller is our nominee for Bitter River. Chrissy Picture. Let me write this down. I would have nominated Kathy Reichs or Carl, Charles Gard, any other person on Annalie Huber, but they nominated Bitter River Julia Keller. Clues are thrown out in abundance, but the final reveal is shocking in the outstanding second entry in Keller's new series. After finding a strangled pregnant teenager body submerged in her car in the Bitter River, County Prosecuting Attorney Belle Atkins and Sheriff Nick Fogelson soon realize this will not be an easy case to solve, as the list of suspects is long. They handily eliminate prime candidates who appear to have solid alibis. Belle finds brief respite from a hectic job with a man 15 years her junior, when another man from her past shows up on her doorstep. This further complicates her personal life. During the investigation, Nick and Belle discover how much the townspeople are intertwined with the mystery. Okay, so your nominees for contemporary mystery are Christine Barber, When the Devil Doesn't Show, Katia Leaf, The Money Kill, Louise Penny, How the Lights Gets In, S.J. Bolton, Lost, and Julia Keller, The Bitter River, and the Globe goes to S.J. Bolton, Lost. That would have been my choice, but that's their choice. You know, I have some of her books, and again, I wouldn't have chosen any of these authors. Well, maybe 2. No, 3. Alright, so your first nominee for Amateur Sleuth is Michelle Rowan, Bled and Breakfast. She's vampire. I do not think of her as amateur sleuth. I think of her as vampire. Who else is in this issue? Maggie Sefton, Close-Knit Killer. Kate Carlisle, A Cookbook Conspiracy. I would have done her, but more. I would have nominated her. She would have been my choice. But anyways, Bled and Breakfast, Michelle Rowan. Rowan's second Immortal Bites mystery is involving. It's impossible to put down. Right after her Vegas wedding, new vampire Sarah Dealey and Master Vampire Theory are set to Salem, Mass. To find out why 3 vampires disappeared from the area. The case gets even more mystifying when their first contact is killed, and Sarah must figure out if this is the work of a witch with a grudge or if there's someone else who would like to see all supernaturals gone. Christine Wagner, Do or Die. The first comfort food mystery is a real treat. Well plotted, it'll keep you guessing right up to the final chapter. When Trixie Mott buys her aunt's upstate New York diner, she expects a new start in a quiet lakeside town. But when the local health inspector is poisoned in her diner, rumors start to circulate that she's a murderer. Trixie's one busy diner suddenly has more staff than customers. Sheriff Ty soon realizes Trixie isn't the culprit, but the suave ex-Texan isn't moving fast enough for Trixie. She begins her own sleuthing to find out who tampered with the health inspector's plate. I would not have chosen her. I do not know her. Is she still around? I do not know. I probably would have chosen this author, though. I like Molly. We will do this series eventually. I just haven't gotten there yet, but we will do this side of Rice Bowen. So I probably would have I would have nominated Molly because I'm familiar with Molly. I haven't read this side of her yet, but we will do this side. Charming, witty, sassy, and brilliantly plotted, Bowen's latest Royal Spineless book is perfect for steamy summer nights. Plucky Georgiana, 35th in line to the throne, is determined to find her own happily ever after. Georgina and Darcy have decided to keep their engagement a secret, but George is asked by the Queen and the Dowager Duchess to help a newly discovered Duke who's been raised in Australia outback to fit into society. She and Jack Outram meet the new Duke's hostile family at Kingstown, and the old Duke decides to declare his own heir. He winds up dead, with Jack's blade in his back, but George isn't buying that story. She needs to find out who really killed the old man without becoming the next victim. And, clammed up, I would have done a Maddie Day. I don't know, it just reminds me of Maddie Day, these titles. Even her cover reminds me of Maddie Day. This first installment in the new series is a real treat. The action starts early and continues as Julia hunts down clues and deals with the dynamic involving saving the business. Julia Snowden leaves her lucrative career in New York to return to Busman Harbor, Maine, and help save a family business. Guests are transported to Morrow Island, owned by Julia's family, to enjoy an authentic Maine clam bake. On the island sits a time-worn 27-room mansion called Wynn's Home. Hosting a bridal party at the island, Julia enters the mansion and finds the best man hanging from the ceiling. Questions swirl around the young man's murder as she tries to figure out who had access to the island. When the relationship between the best man and the bride, whether a young man who vanished years earlier has returned to commit crimes, saving the clam bake may be harder than Julia thought. That is so familiar. We just did this. Not this book, but one of my authors, and I'm going to go bonkers till I figure it out. One of my authors, where's my thing? One of my authors, not Carlisle, maybe? One of them had a group of people come for the wedding, and someone gets murdered and they're all kept in the castle. Was that a Carlisle? Was that a Brooklyn Wainwright? Was that one of hers? I'm so thinking. We just did this. Well, she's still writing. So this is the first of 12, so I have to look that. But it's going to drive me bonkers. I'm going to go through all of my videos in the past couple of months, because I know I just did one very similar where this couple was going to get married. I'm almost positive it's a Carlisle. Who writes the Brooklyn Wainwright Restore series? You know, this is gonna drive me bonkers. Hey. Oh, I'm getting ready for Christmas. It was here. So that was clammed up. The next, A Potion to Die For. Now, I like Heather Blake. She's the witchy side of town. I just never would have considered her for, I don't know, I might have gone for more of the amateur sleuth, I don't know, Krista Davis, Carlisle, Donna Andrews, Meg Langslow. I wouldn't have went for this vampire, Miss Rowan and Miss Blake, couldn't they have done a amateur sleuth paranormal and freed up the selection for the other books? But anyway, where's my pen? A Potion to Die For. Blake does it again with the debut of another great paranormal mystery series. A witchy Carlisle tries to prove herself innocent of murder. Carly Bell Hartwell is a witch, a good healing witch who makes potions to help people with illness, sleeping troubles, and even love. When a local lawyer ends up dead in the break room of a potion shop, everyone points the fingers at her. To make matters worse, the investigator is none other than her ex-fiancé Dylan, and evidence keeps pointing as Carly as the murderer, taking matters into her own hand. She looks into the victim's life. Like I said, couldn't they have made a separate category? Amateur sleuth, and then amateur sleuth paranormal, and then you could have gone with that, and then you could have nominated Anita Blake, Laurel, but she wouldn't have been amateur. She gets paid. Laurel, Anita gets paid. Well, that would have went out the window there. Or what's her face? What is her name? Holly. Emma Holly has a stupid castle series. Her characters they're more comical than serious. Okay, so your nominees for amateur sleuths were Michelle Rowan, Blood and Breakfast, Christine Wegner, Do or Diner, Rias Bowen, Airs and Graces, Barbara Ross, Clammed Up, Heather Blake, a Potion to Die For, and the Globe goes to the vampire, Michelle Rowan, Blood and Breakfast. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Chrissy, put the picture up. Okay, your nominees for contemporary romance. Christy Ridgway. Bungalow Nights. The series really picks up steam in book 2 with a delicious sizzling romance, great secondary characters, and another love story. Combat medic Vance Smith made a promise to his dying colonel to take the soldier's daughter on their dream vacation a month at Beach House number 9. There's a helmet list of things the colonel wanted to do with his daughter and a picture of adorable 10-year-old girl. Vance is determined to fulfill his request. Still recovering from his injuries, he rents the beach house, hires a nanny, and heads to Crescent Cove, only to discover the girl is 23 years old. Because he thinks she's a kid. He cannot betray the colonel by doing the midnight tango with his daughter. As a soldier's daughter, Lila Parker has learned the lesson of emotional detachment. Vance is incredibly hot, but she needs to guard her heart against the grief. Okay. Oops, I missed one. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. The Apple Orchard. Susan Wiggs. This brilliant and epic family drama disguises romance, fills the senses. The sense of bounty tantalizes the beauty of Samoa is visualized, and the touch of hand or kiss can be visually felt. As a Providence specialist at Auction House, Tess Delaney delves into other people's past, partly because she finds her own so lacking. In an instant, she discovers a family she never knew, bringing up secrets and mysteries dating back before World War II. Tess is shocked to learn that her grandfather she never knew is in a coma, and that she has been named to inherit his apple orchard in Simona, along with a woman named Isabel Johansson, her half-sister. She learns the news from a sexy, mysterious man, Dominic Rossi, who is a banker by trade, but a vinter by passion. And Kate Angel, No Strings Attached. Alright, there it is up at the top. 4.5 stars. Angel's enchanting, warm-hearted story gives readers a double dose of romance filled with wonderful, engaging characters, including an endearing hero. Sophie Saunders has a crush on volleyball pro Dwayne Gates when she was 7 and he was 18, and at that time has not diminished her feelings, just deepened them. Since her brother's marriage to Dwayne's sister, a feud between the families has become less hostile. This opens the door for Sophie to work for the Gates family and see more of Dune. For Dune, the age difference, along with the chaos of his life and the demands of his career, places Sophie off limits, but he can't seem to stay away from her, which goes against his no-strings-attached policy. Meanwhile, his volleyball partner, Mac James, finds Dwayne's cousin Jenna to be irritating, aggravating, and on his mind all the time. So, see what happens there. And Jesse Hayworth. Summer at Mustang Ranch. I would have seen Linda Lamb Miller in this category, or Susan Malloy. Rochelle Ayers in this, but she wasn't. What's I guess. Where's my pen? I just had it. Summer at Mustang Ranch. Jesse Hayworth. Hayworth's debut, the second in a Mustang Ridge series, is an elegant love story expressed in simple, elegant language about a vulnerable mother, her troubled child, and an enigmatic cowboy who has been scarred by love. Against better advice, city girl Shelley takes a cooking job at Mustang Ridge Dude Ranch for the summer. She hopes that being there will help soothe her daughter Lizzie's troubles. When they meet Foster, the ranch's chief wrangler, his brusque manner rubs Shelley the wrong way. Yet he becomes Lizzie's favorite person. As Shelby spends more time around Foster, she is taken with him, which leads into an unexpected magical summer for all three of them. And Fiance by Friday. Why did I? Oh, we missed one. Alright, Sassy Bells. Beth Albright. That whole page is said Sassy Bells is the one here in the corner by my finger. But this is the whole set. You don't have to be from the South to enjoy Albright's debut, but if you are, you most certainly will. Moreover, if you're a Bama fan, this is a must-have book. When the voice of Crimson Tide, Lewis Hart, goes missing, Crimson suspects that Vivi has something to do with his disappearance. Her best friend and attorney Blake O'Hara is determined to help her solve the mystery and clear her name. Along the madcap way, one Sassy Bell's sister will discover true love at last, while the other watches her marriage crumble right before her own eyes. Will old high school sweetheart and homicide investigator Sonny Barlow be there to pick up the pieces? It's here in the corner. Those are the 3 books. Alright, and Catherine Bybee, Fiance by Friday. In his fantastic weekday brides installment, Bybee knows how to keep readers happy. A romantic tale featuring a thrilling pursuit and passion to stuff in your back pocket to last for a few lifetimes. Lady Gwen Harrison moved to America to take over her sister-in-law's elite matchmaking business. Almost a year later, she's still struggling to find independence and love. Sorry, I keep forgetting about the paper. Tired Marine Nick Neil McBain, head of her late father's security team and essentially her bodyguard, but he doesn't reciprocate her playfulness. She'll have to make the first move. Okay. So, your nominees for contemporary romance: Christy Ridgway, Bungalow Nights; Susan Wiggs, The Apple Orchard; Kate Angel, No Strings Attached; Beth Albright, The Sassy Bells; Jesse Hayworth, Summer at Mustang Ridge; and Katharine Bybee, Fiance by Friday. And the Globe goes to... where's my paper? Okay. Your nominees for vampire romance. Chrissy Picture. I have a couple of this lady's books, but not this one. It ticks me off. Gates of Rapture, Karis Rowan, 4 stars. For the finale of her outstanding Governors of Ascension series, Rowan brings out a promised climactic confrontation between the dark forces of Commander Grease and Angel's guardians. Although her heart lies with vampire warrior Latita Destra, Grace has left with the 4th Ascender Casimir as she foresaw that it was imperative Casimir survive. Strangely, Grace realizes that both Leo and Casimir were her bonded mate. Now, however, Grace senses it's time for her to return to Leto. Since Grace's unusual obsidian flame powers will be critical in stopping Commander Greaves, after being forced to drink dying blood, Leto was now vastly changed. Until now, Greaves had been one step ahead of the Guardians, the triad of obsidian flame powers, the key to finally stopping this murderous madman. I would have chosen somebody else that we'll talk about. I would have chosen Kelsey Crow, but we'll talk about her in a different book. Abigail Gibbs, Dark Heroine. Dinner with a Vampire. In her debut novel, Gibbs draws you in right away with her extraordinary tale of vampires living in London, with delectable pairing of handsome, charming, wicked vampire prince and the spunky human girl he falls for, not to mention an intricate, well-developed plot. 17-year-old Violet Lee witnesses a macrame scene in the middle of central London. She flees only to end up in the company of vampires. They kidnap Violet and take her back to their home. Because she's seen too much, she is left to make a choice: remain locked away or become one of them. As Violet grapples with the new world she has stumbled upon, she also struggles about the undeniable desire she has for Caspian, the prince. Janine Frost, Twice Tempted. I've got to do this series. I've got to get the rest of them. This one in Wilkes it's gonna cost a few pennies to get these. These don't show up in this for stores as often. People keep them. Twice Tempted, Janine Frost. Despite fiery lovers Vlad and Leela survive on attack of one of Vlad's old foes. The road to romance is not getting smoothly. Book 2 in the Megastar Forest Night Prince series illustrates the challenges facing these two, and the results are not pretty. Layla knows that her part of her insecurity in a relationship with Night Prince Vlad is that her psychic powers are still not working, which means she is unable to glimpse the future. A collision of sensibilities between a modern woman and a medieval man forces Leela to realize that Vlad doesn't view the relationship as she does, and sadly that compels her to leave. But while attempting to rebuild her life, tragedy strikes and Leela realizes she is on someone's hit list. Who is after her and why? Oh, and look! Naked guy on the cover. Gonna be a nominee for naked guy on the cover. I would. Oh, Darkness Avenged. Ivy fans are in for a special treat, as not only do they get a darkly romantic adventure, sexy Santiago and the mysterious Nefri, they also get a bonus short story featuring everyone's favorite gargoyle Levitt. While most of the paranormal demon world is rejoicing over the defeat of the Dark Lord, Vampire Santiago remains angered that despite their sensual connection, Neferi has returned to behind the veil. Then a former Dark Witch informs the vampires that the traitorous Gaius did not perish with the Dark Lord, but is free and unleashing a strange, violent scourge on the mortal world. Santiago was tasked with hunting down Gaius, his sire, but what he does not know is Neferi has been given a similar task by the oracles. An ancient evil has escaped its prison and taken up Gaius, and it will be up to Santiago Nefari to stop it. But that means getting back together and falling in love again. Go figure. Darkness Rises. Diane Duvall. Duvall's newest heroine is much in the habit of kicking butt and taking names. For the past 6 years, Krista has been eliminating vampires, and Mortal Guardian Etemi is impressed and intrigued. Trish is not easy for either of these protagonists, so their budding relationship is a bit rocky. Krista's unique ability to see aura comes in handy when hunting down vampires. However, Krista doesn't know what to make of the assistance she received from stranger Etemi. Etemi can't believe human Krista efficiently takes up vamps. But it comes with a cost, as Krista is regularly injured. Luckily, she can rely on her brother Sean, who heals with the touch of his hands. As Krista and Sean learn about Antonine and the Immortal Guardians, a deadly threat, the Guardians rise to thought was contained once rises again. Oh, and look! Naked guy on the cover. Alright, so your nominees for Vampire Rowers were Chris Roan, Gates of Rapture, Abigail Gibbs, The Dark Heroine, Janine Frost, Twice Tempted, Ivy Alexandra, Darkness Avenged, Diane Duvall, Darkness Rises, and the winner goes to, and I approve of this one, the winner goes to Twice Tempted, The Globe. I would play the music, but I tried that once. There's a short out there for Valentine's Day, me holding a teddy bear that dances, and it's music playing. You don't hear the music. The computer blanks out the background noise. So you gotta watch the short that I posted later in the day to find out what the teddy bear says. Alright, let's see. Alright, and our final group, Fantasy Adventure, Dream Spinner by Lynn Kurland. For our stars, They Always Are inspiring. Kurland kicks off this latest installment of her Nine Kingdom series by focusing on Ruch, who is wounded, powerless, and without magic. Kurland's heroine is hampered by a nearly complete lack of knowledge of the world around her, and her hero wants nothing but an unremarkable life. But there's no chance of that. Through Dream Spinner, Kurland explores the beginnings of a new quest that will be filled with ample quantities of adventure, magic, and peril. Since she was a small child, Aisling has been consigned to a life as a weaver's apprentice. Aisling has dreamed of escaping her lot, but she never envisions being forced on a quest to save her kingdom. Aisling must travel to the opposite end of the world, find an assassin, and bring him back to face an usurper of the throne. If she fails, she will die. Elven Prince Runak, whose magic was stolen by his father, has decided that he will become a hired swordsman. On his way to train with Wagner, Runak stumbles upon Aisling's masquerading as a boy. Intrigued, he assists her, but the alliance is dangerous. They attract unwanted attention. They might fall in love too. Alright, and the other one is Chrissy picture. I don't know why I couldn't find the picture of this. This woman is very well known. Scent of Magic, Maria V. Schneider. In the latest of her Healy, and it's only got 4 stars, which is unusual for them to choose of 4 stars. They usually choose all 4.5. Right? This is what, yeah. In the latest of her Hero series, Snyder continues the story of Avery Kazan, the last healer in the 15 realms. Once again, Snyder entertains readers with an intriguing storyline filled with fully formed characters with action, adventure, and romance. Gifted healer Avery of Kazan, now thought dead by those who know her, is determined to find her estranged sister and make things right between them. She also wants to stop the evil King Tolan from fully taking control over the 15 realms. She means to do so by infiltrating and joining up with the Holy Army of Priestess. Estrud is fighting against Torin. One thing is certain, war is coming. Will Avery survive? And our final book, Michele Sangara, Cast in Sorrow. When we last left Private Kaylin Neela, she had barely survived the journey to the lands of the West March, where she is no longer a baron. Uber Awesome Segwa picks up the intense action right where she left off, and particularly things are not going well. Kaylin continues to wonder why it's so important to Barini Lord Nightshade that she listened to Regella. When Kaylin has chosen by the heart of the green to be the harmonista who helps tell the truth behind the tale and he the teller, her suspicious rose. However, more important to Kaylin is the effect his recitation may have on her friend and fellow hawk Tila. Centuries before, 12 barren children listened to Regilla and disaster struck, with Tila being the only child to stay unchanged. That was the beginning of the story, and now it'll be up to Kaylin to finish it. And that is the out, and the winner is the one who gets the globe is Michele Sangara. Your nominees were Lynn Curlin, Dream Spinner, Maria Schneider, Scent of Magic, and Michele Scarra, Cast in Sorrow. And your globe winner is Michele Sangara. And I can't believe there wasn't a picture in the... Nope. So, and the winner is... Was it good? Did it work for you? We'll see what happens next week. Maybe I'll get my trophy out. But the globe works too. Have a good one.